listening to the WCEN podcast. Hello. I hope you're all doing well. My name is Peaks, and you're listening to the WCEN podcast. The reason for this podcast is to keep the communities and multi-faith networks informed on services, how to access them, and to keep the spirits uplifted. We really need that at this time especially. This is a platform to share and express the needs and experiences of what's happening within the communities and the different things that people are doing to cope with the current situation. We'll be speaking to faith leaders, key community members, members of the healthcare profession, and much more. So there's a lot of value you're going to find in this podcast show. And on today's podcast, we have Imam Ahmed. He's a leader at the Eritrean Muslim Community Centre, founded in 1989. One of the local organisations collaborating with WCEN to build health and care work in the community, led by the community. So we're going to hear from him, so let's get him on the line. All right, so let's welcome Imam Ahmed. So how are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you. How are you? How's everyone?
Yes, very well. It's actually really nice weather, so
absolutely.
Yes, a little bit of a lockdown walk. Enjoying a little bit of sunshine. Yes, but
yes.
But yeah, so I just really wanted to give everybody a little bit of background about who you are, where you've come from, and just your kind of history, which is kind of leading us up to today before this lockdown happened. So if you could give us a bit of background about who you are, where you've come from, and who you work for.
Thank you very much, first of all, for the opportunity. Very happy to be with you. My name is Ahmed Saad, and I'm the senior imam at Al-Nagashi Mosque, which is part of the Eritrean Muslim Community Association. It goes beyond the Eritrean community because of the mosque and the role of the mosque in the area. It's in Wandsworth Road, about 5 minutes walk from Vauxhall Station. Because it's one of the few mosques in the area, it does attract wide number of people from the area, including from Stockwell. So we actually on the border between Lambeth and Wandsworth. Majority of the people are from Eritrea, East Africa, but also most of the people live in the area surrounding Wandsworth Road. They do come to our mosque and they do worship in the mosque. My role obviously being part of that community just on a daily basis. Also support in terms of spiritual needs. Also provide and coordinate programs, including activities for the children. We have Scout, we're part of the Scout Association. And so on. So, it's quite a lot of things that we do in the area.
Excellent. I mean, it sounds very full on, but obviously in regards to the lockdown, I mean, can you tell us about how it was for you when you kind of heard the news, or where were you when you actually first heard the news that this was going to happen?
Yeah. I mean, we've been. It has been a long discussion before the decision has come out for the lockdown. As mosques, we've been discussing. We've been talking. Our trustees having regular meetings, assessing the situation. We've been also making people aware of what's going on, although the picture wasn't very clear. But we were trying to catch up with NHS advice. We were putting posters everywhere, telling people just about washing hands regularly, important of what symptoms are there to watch out for. Life was normal, but at the same time, we were sending messages to make people aware that the situation is changing. Something is going on that we cannot ignore. And even Friday's sermon, it was about the problem, about what's going on, and how we have to be prepared and have to be ready for anything, including lockdown, because this is obviously the first time something like this happening, and the idea of lockdown for the Islamic Center is very hard for people to understand. This is the place where they, especially in the weekends, they come with their families, and so it's a very important place for them. But we had to be ready. We had to make a decision. Eventually, it was a decision made by group of mosques around London. And we decided to be part of it, and we took immediate action. So we informed people. We told them tomorrow is going to be closure, and we just shared the message across WhatsApp groups and Facebook and the website. And even many people kept coming the next day and the day after. They had no idea that the mosque was closed because we couldn't wait until Friday. Friday is usually the day where everyone will get the message. About 600 people to 700 people attend on Friday to listen to the Friday sermon. But there was no time for that. So we just had to make a decision and act quickly. So it was difficult. It was a difficult decision happening quickly. Many people not aware what's going on. We didn't know how long this will go on for. So we had to write something quickly and just publish it, share it with the community. But the good thing is that everyone was supportive. Everyone thought that this is the right thing. Although it was early and still some other mosques, many places were still open. But people were so proud that we put safety before everything else, and we did not hesitate at this time. So yeah, we took a difficult decision, but we know that this is a situation that's affecting everyone, and we hope it will be relieved soon, and soon things will come back to normal.
Of course. I mean, I'm sure everybody feels that. I mean, obviously, with all people who have faith communities and things, their buildings are such a big part of the community. I mean, this is almost like we're into our fourth week now. How is the kind of picture developing for you? How is your community adjusting?
We can see that the communities really missed the role of the mosque in their life. But what we did, we created a group, a WhatsApp group, where we just invited everyone to join voluntarily, and that group was to give support to those who are isolated, did have to isolate earlier due to the age or underlying health conditions. So all vulnerables who really needed some sort of support, we created that group. So we attracted all people who wanted to volunteer and support. And at the same time, we asked everyone to include names of those who they might think need support. And with that, we tried to link the community together. And so in that, we would just send information, updates. We also inform people about what's going on with a campaign to support people. And many of our volunteers managed to get to people supporting, including giving calls sometimes just to check on people and see how they're doing. At the same time, we also utilized our website and Facebook page and YouTube channel to spiritually also support people and strengthen them through reminders. Many people lost loved ones, and it was hard for them. But what we tried to carry on bringing the community together. That was our role at the beginning, and we wanted to continue doing that virtually. And I think we managed to a certain extent. Most people now still feel connected, and we feel like we're still providing some sort of service. Obviously, not exactly as we used to, but something better than nothing.
Yeah, of course. I mean, everybody will take what they can get at this moment, especially in the wake
Absolutely.
of so many things closing down. But the fact that you're keeping everything running, I mean, in
Yes.
terms of people it's very much community based, which means face-to-face contact. But now, things have very much changed with that. In regards to technologies, I mean, a lot of people maybe weren't used to using, Facebook groups or apps and things like that. So how did you approach that, and how did the members of your community approach that? Was this kind of something that was new, or is this something you were using before this kind of lockdown happened?
Yeah, I mean, some of the obviously means of communication were already used, and we decided to start with the most familiar platforms for people. So WhatsApp group is obviously everyone is part of WhatsApp. So that was our first area where we tried to bring everyone together. So we decided to start with that one, and also our Facebook page. people do visit it. People do check it from time to time. But then we had to also go to try other things like Zoom to broadcast some kind of reminders and short lectures to people. We also tried live talks through our Facebook page, which was something not everyone was familiar with. And also, we started to activate and get our YouTube channel to be part of this as well, so where people can come and watch live YouTube videos. So we tried as much as possible, and we ourselves we tried to learn. I mean, myself, I was not really that familiar with Zoom and live,
Yeah, live feeds and videos and things.
Live feeds. Yeah, it was a new area. I was making
Yes.
some errors at the beginning, but I know that we're
You've
blessed
risen
at
to
this
the
time.
challenge.
Yeah, it's a challenge, but it's a blessing as well that we have this, because I keep telling myself, if this was like 100 years ago, and the whole world had to lock down, it would have been tough, because you wouldn't even know what's going on with your neighbor. You don't even know what's going on with family on the other side of the city. And it would have been tough. But luckily, we have the technology, we have the platform now to get connected and utilize it. So, yeah, I think good work has been done through the social media and all the electronic platforms. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, the fact that you're rising to the challenge and just keeping everything moving is quite amazing. I mean,
absolutely.
In regards to your work with WCEN, we heard previously on another podcast show from Gita, who's the chair, and all the work that you guys have been doing for your various organizations. And can you give us a bit of information about it's led by the community, and the community is very much involved with healthcare and everything like that. So can you tell us a bit about that work that you've been doing and how involved the community is with that?
Yeah. I mean, the initiative was great. When we were invited to be part of this initiative and really do something that's community-led instead of just in the past, we used to get invited by, or we used to work with NHS where someone would come and just lecture us, talk to us about something, and we would just sit there and listen. Or we will invite a professional from the NHS to come and deliver a service, but we never had the opportunity to us ourselves, as a community, to be part of this and to provide a service to our community. So it was a great idea, great initiative on the right direction. We thought we are definitely part of this, and the impact was amazing on the community, because it meant training for people to do something, and at the same time, people from our community would know the needs of the community, and would be able to provide the better, obviously, understanding, and be able to assess the needs better than probably someone from not from the community. There always the barrier of language, barrier of culture, sometimes sensitivity, and so on. So yeah, it gave people the confidence to come and be part of this, and it was a great initiative. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, so what kind of training is it? I mean, if somebody came and they wanted to be part of, they wanted to help, they wanted to contribute, what kind of what is it that you're looking for someone? Do they have to meet some kind of criteria, or is there any particular age group? What's the criteria, and what's the kind of training program that you put them through if somebody wants to participate within that?
The training, I mean, we had the opportunity to get some of our volunteers and members to get trained to become health coaches. So that was a great thing, where they can learn how to assess basic health checks. They can carry basic health checks, and they can slowly lead even for themselves in the future. Maybe if they want to build on this to become a profession, maybe for them to nursing or something on that sort. Also on the legal advice, we had some of our training, some of our members and volunteers who had the opportunity to attend training to be able to give basic, or to assess basic legal advice. That was part of the Citizen Advice Bureau training. This is the way we could at least get something from our community for our community, and not to fully rely on organizations where they already have the load, of dealing with wide audience, and they also find the challenge, obviously, communicating sometimes with people from different backgrounds. Where we can do this service, it becomes easier for us and for everyone. So the training was really crucial, and we were hoping to continue, but obviously the lockdown, and hopefully after this we'll be able to continue the great work.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine this has highlighted so many things as well, so many services you can continue on with. I mean, regards into the services which are on offer, I mean, is your mosque, you said it's closed now. Is there any kind of services that you're still offering just now that people can contact you for? And if so, what's your kind of contact details?
People can contact us for spiritual guidance, support. So that's something we continue to give. People can also get in touch with us if they need support in terms of even basic needs such as shopping if they cannot leave home. This is a new role that we play, and obviously it's not part of the center. But we are doing this to cover the need, the vacuum now, where people locked down, and they might need some support in terms of even shopping. So this is something that we're doing on the ground, but we also provide the spiritual support. We saw on Friday, for example, now we do upload every Friday a reminder, so something to replace the Friday sermon that used to take place. People now wake up on Friday and they have no idea this is Friday because of the lockdown. Every day looks
it's starting to blur into one day.
Exactly. It's just like you have no idea. Sometimes you don't know if this is Monday or Wednesday,
Yeah.
Because so what we try to at least get people to feel the spiritual effect of Friday, because it was a different day for them.
Yes.
So we're trying to get them to have that feeling. So we upload on our Facebook page and YouTube channel a reminder, like similar to the Friday sermon. Also now Ramadan is approaching, and again the gap or the vacuum will be huge because it was completely different atmosphere, different month, and we're preparing some programs to upload and make accessible for people to follow, to watch. We'll try also to give them some guidance and advice how to manage certain things at home, maybe with the children. Maybe some people have issues. So we try to be we try to play that role, but obviously not in the same way as we used to. But at least we try to keep people connected to us. Yeah.
Excellent. I mean, and this is obviously a lot of work that's still going on, even though it's closed to the public. You're still very much active yourself. I mean, how are you kind of dealing with everything as well? How are you kind of looking after your mental well-being?
It is tough. It is not easy. It's just you yourself. Every one of us is affected by the lockdown. Every one of us got family, got children. You have to look after yourself. You worry if a member of your family is showing symptoms, of the disease. So we ourselves were not in the best state, state of mind, and but we know that we have a role, and we just there's no time for us really to to relax that role, because at this time our role is needed most. People do send messages to us. They don't. I'm not saying that they're selfish, but they don't think that much about how we feel, and they just expect a response. They send a message, but my WhatsApp message is just like never stop. And I do understand, people at this time, they need the support, they need the guidance, and but at the same time, we also go through problems and difficulties because of the situation. I've got my children. I have to,
Yes.
make sure that they're well, they're okay. I mean, they get the news from family, relatives, someone who's not well. So it's so much going on in our mind, but we have to keep responding to people, and we have to give them the support they need.
Of course.
It's not easy.
Yeah, I mean, of course, you're carrying the burden, you're making everybody feel
Yes.
comfortable, and obviously, it's not even a selfish act. You have to. If you can't look after
Yeah.
yourself, then how are you going to keep everything running? So,
That's
I
it.
mean, of course. So, a little bit of advice for maybe somebody else who's leaders in other congregations and such places like that. What have you found to be helpful for yourself? How would you unwind, and how would you kind of take that little bit of time for yourself and your family?
I would say always look after yourself. Have time for yourself. It's very important. Don't put yourself at risks. Where you know that there is a risk. Of course, do what you can to support people, but where there's a big risk, you have to really take all the precautions. You have to don't just jump into a situation where that you can be helpful to others, but then it can harm you, because we don't know how long this will go on for. Your family definitely needs you, as well. They need your help and your support. So it's very important to balance, not just be completely driven. People expect us sometimes to go out, and people sometimes call me and they say, why not just open the mosque, for Friday, just for like few people. You get some people trying to push for something, but my role is not to respond to everything, don't have to agree to everything. We have to assess, and we have to put safety before everything else. So I would say it's very important we look after ourselves, be part of the family that needs us as well. But at the same time, of course, we have to be ready to support people. I get sometimes messages and calls late at night, and I would be tempted, not to answer, just leave it till the morning. But then I would think, what if situation is taking place, and then I'll just have to answer the call. But again, if this continues, it can affect us, and then affect our role, obviously. So there is a balance that we have to think of. Very important.
So, I mean, in terms of the fact that, the things in the world have changed completely and the UK is on lockdown, how has these kind of global events kind of changed your perspective on things? Is there anything different that you would do? What's your kind of outlook on life now? Has anything changed for you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, first of all, we had some confidence in everything around us. We always had confidence in everything. We thought everything is in the best condition. Nothing will affect us. We can see that everyone is healthy around us. But in a matter of days and weeks, this picture has changed completely. And this tells us that we cannot just take everything for granted. It's our health, our loved ones. Everything is. We cannot take everything for granted. So it made me myself to rethink everything. Put my priorities. Again, think about the priorities, the basic needs. At some point, the precious thing was toilet papers for people. I remember I bought the toilet paper from one shop. I was taking it to the mosque actually, but it was a big quantity. And I was crossing the road, and people were looking at me as like I'm holding. I was like, just chill. It's just toilet papers. Yeah. I'm like, relax. It's just toilet papers. There's nothing. But and so it just shows that at some point our needs can be something else. Today, the needs of people is someone to give them a call and check on them. And see how they are. They're locked down. They cannot go out. They don't feel. They're not healthy enough to go out, even buy shopping for themselves. So really, looking at things again and what our priorities and what are the basic needs that we used to take for granted is that now today that on the top list of our priorities. So I think the way we view the world has changed, and I hope we learn a lesson. Although we human beings, what happened with us after we pass the test, we go back to, we relax again and we take things again for granted. But I hope really, we understand. People forgot the differences today, about one another. People check on one another. So I think it was a lesson, it's a big lesson behind this. And I hope that it will help us for the better of our relationships, our loving one another, being nice to one another, caring for one another, and understanding that life is not certain. There's no certainty and confidence in everything around us. So so much to be learned from this.
Thank you so much for everything that you've shared. Is there any kind of you mentioned Facebook groups or WhatsApps? Is there anything that you can say online for anybody? Can you give them what the addresses of these things are?
Our Facebook is the page is EMCA UK, so EMCA UK. That's our Facebook page, and our website is emca.org.uk. So www.emca.org.uk.
And you said you had a live YouTube channel?
We have live YouTube channel. It's also EMCA. MK UK, that's the YouTube channel. Please come and have a look, and we hope we can at least cover part of the gap that everyone now is feeling in the community by providing something on these platforms.
Yes, definitely. Well done for all the work that you're continuing to do in the wake of this. I hope that you will all keep safe and you'll take some time for yourself and you won't feel too bad about it, because we all need you to be there. Thank you so much for sharing your time with us.
Thank you very much. And thanks to everyone. I hope everyone is safe and well. We'll go back to normal soon.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Thank you. You too. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for Iman, who shared his wealth and experience with us. If you want to get involved with the show, or if there's any other questions that you want to drop off, if you want to contribute in any way, then you can contact us on info@wcen.org.uk. Please leave your comments down below as well if you just want to participate. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe to the podcast. We also have a website that you can go and check out, which is www.wcen.co.uk. And of course, if you want to get the latest up-to-date news on what's happening with the government and the health, please go and visit www.gov.uk. Also, if you want to be a bit more local, you can go and check out www.wandsworth.gov.uk. If you enjoyed this podcast, please share it with somebody else you think will benefit from it. Stay safe, stay well, and we'll see you on the next show. You're listening to the WCEN podcast.